Greetings, I'm Ron Aledo. You already know me. Today, I'm gonna try to explain how I could predict that Donald Trump was will be the winner of the 2016 elections. What did I do? What methods of analysis I use? So I'm gonna try to explain you during the next 15-20 minutes, basically my analysis pattern and methods that I use. And let me tell you something. This might be a little bit complicated for some of you because I'm gonna touch into some theology, Catholic theology, but also I'm gonna explain explain to you that I also use normal conventional intelligence analysis methods. Specifically, I use the Monthy Hall problem, and I use analysis of competing hypotheses. Plus, obviously, my understanding, the Catholic understanding of universal history, the dogma regarding the universal history of the world. So basically, I have an advantage over other analysts, and of course, other analysts are friends of mine, people that I know. They are very good analysts with a lot of experience. They know very well the logic patterns and methodology. They understand all the cognitive errors and they avoid those. The philosophical, cognitive, logical patterns. They are experts on those. I still think I have an advantage over my peers, and is that I also utilize, obviously only when proper, only when in the times that is proper to use it. I also use another element of intelligence, of information, of facts, and that element that I add into the fusion, that element that I put together and I blend it together, is my understanding of Christian dogma about the history. And I'm talking about the City of God of St. Agustin. I'm talking about a speech of universal history of Bossuet. I'm talking about the famous essay from Juan Donoso Cortes. I'm talking about the Fatima message, the Virgin of Fatima in Portugal message of early 20th century. And I'm also talking about the official Catholic doctrine about the understanding of war history. So when applies, I also utilize that element that my fellow friends and peers and other analysts do not know or don't use or don't care about. So I think that gives me an advantage. We need to understand something. We Catholic Christians, we know already how the story ends. We already have read the last page of the novel in some way. So that gives us an advantage of understanding the big picture. Remember, history is not cycle. That's an error. It's linear. Okay, it follows a line. It's a storytelling. That universal history, and it's a plan. It's a divine plan. Already with the major events and the major developments and the climax of that storytelling, already we know about those. Those are told already. So basically, we have to understand, according to San Agustin and according to Bossuet and according to Donoso Cortes, that history is just the effect of divine providence. A fight, a war, a battle between the city of God and the city of the devil. And I'm not talking about an internal battle inside each person's heart or morals or if I'm going to be good or bad myself individually. I'm talking about globally. There are those movements, political parties, political leaders, kingdoms, countries that are in support of the city of God, and there are those parties, political movements, armies, kingdoms, presidents that are in support of the city of the devil. As simple as that. Now, the city of God, the one that St. Agustin uh, uh, told us about, is always the same. Is the church. The Christian church, the true Christian church, is always the city of God. And all that is good comes from it. That's also what Donoso Cortes tells us. The city of the devil changes with time. Within some years, within some centuries, it always mutates. It always changes. So sometimes are the guys that says Barabbas, Barabbas, that's our guys, give us Barabbas, blah blah blah. That's the city of the devil. Later on, perhaps is the Emperor Caligula, the Roman Empire. Later on, the Ottomans, the fall of Constantinople, the heretics, the Muslim armies, the invading armies at the gates of Vienna, the Cromwell and his priest killers, the heretics, the communists, the Freemasonic revolutions all around Europe, the anti-Christian movements of the 19th century, the anarchists, Stalin, the Warsaw Pact, the pro-abortion movement, call it whatever. Those people, movements, kingdoms, armies, they are fighting against God, against the church, against the natural moral law, the objective natural moral law that is represented in the Christian church. So that battle, that thousands of years old chess game, if you want to call it that way, between God and the devil, is what really is universal history. Now, we know, because we have read the last page of the book, we know how the story ends, we know that at the end, we win. The devil is not going to win. The city of the devil is not going to win. That is for sure, 100% for sure. The only thing that the devil can do right now, and have been doing for the last 5 or 6 centuries, is expanding his power, getting powerful and stronger, and getting more territory. But remember, when the devil expands the most, when it cannot expand anymore, and it will not be able to take over all, trust me, then at that moment is when the devil is coming to reduce, get smaller, and ultimately is going to go to disappear and be defeated. That maximum expansion is what I have called before the Stalingrad point, the point of maximum expansion that comes just right before the pattern of becoming smaller, and disappear. Now, after 500 years of defeat, I mean terrible defeats, great defeats, beginning with the fall of Constantinople, and coming with the heresies, and coming with the Muslim invasions of Eastern Europe and the gates of Vienna, and the heresies, and the Voltaire-like revolutions, and the guillotine, killing priests and killing the noble people of France, and all these, the Freemasons taking over, and the revolutions, and the bloodshed, and the Napoleonic wars, and all this stuff that have been terrible for humankind and for the church. After 500 years, I mean the terrible reality of First World War, that was the complete defeat of whatever was left in Europe of traditional Christian movements, the Catholic Austria-Hungary gone, traditionalist Catholic and Protestant Germany gone, the genocide of Christian Russia, the expansion of the Warsaw Pact after the Second World War, the expansion of communism all around the world, of atheism, of the cultural Marxists, of the Frankfurt School, the pro-abortion, the hippie movement, etc., etc. After 500 years of terrible defeats, because of my Catholic dogma, I know for sure, I know that after the debacle of going down and down the hill, down the hill, down the hill for years and centuries, it has to be a moment where the pattern have to change, and it have to begin to go up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. I mean, the Virgin Mary said on Fatima, Russia will be converted. It's not if maybe, it's for sure. It will be. So at certain point, at some point, the pattern of defeat have to change. We have to stop going down the hill and we have to begin going up the hill. That is what we know because of our understanding of Catholic dogma of world history. Now, let's go back to 2016. Let's go back to the article of Blaise Joseph. Is Trump the new Constantine? Let's go back to H.W. Crocker. Trump is the exorcist of political correctness. H.W. Crocker, the great Catholic historian, he said, if Hillary Clinton wins, this is it. This is it for the United States. There is not going to be any more Christian United States of America. This is going to be the end of anything that is left in the United States about pro-natural objective law, moral law, is going to be done. This is it. She's going to continue and finish the terrible satanic social engineering, cultural engineering of Obama. Cultural Marxism is going to win. Whatever is left of Christianity in the United States is going to be finished. It's done. H.W. Crocker said, I'm going to move to Iceland or something, but I'm out of here for sure. So taking that in consideration and knowing, as we know, that there has to be a recovery of the Christian world, we also have to understand that it's extremely hard, if not impossible, for the Christian world, for Christianity to recover without the United States. The United States of America is the most powerful country, the richest country, the most powerful military, is the essential country for geopolitics in the world. A recovery in Russia or Eastern Europe or Western Europe without the United States is almost impossible. The United States can be a terrible obstacle if against, like it was against with Obama. So it's extremely hard, if not impossible, that the recovery will happen without the United States. So most likely, if not the leader, at least, at very least, the United States have to be part of that Christian recovery. They have to join that Christian recovery. They have to help. It cannot be an obstacle. It cannot be a showstopper for the Christian recovery, for the recovery of the Christian world. So that tells me that the 2016 were the most important ever elections in the United States, where the faith, not only of the United States, but the faith of perhaps of the whole world, and the Christian world was at play at that moment. Now again, because of the Catholic doctrine, the Christian doctrine of world history, we know that this exists. And this little sphere here is going to be the Christian leader of the United States that is going to help the United States to recover. It's going to help promote the recovery of Christianity in the United States. This has to happen. This sphere here, this Christian leader exists. We know that it exists because of our understanding of Christian history. We win at the end. There have to be a recovery. We have to win at the end. This is what we know for sure. So this sphere here exists. Now the question is where it is or where it was in 2016. I'm going to help you to understand me with these cups here. These cups here represent the candidates for 2016. And here is where analysis of competing hypotheses come into play. Here is where the Monthy Hall problem comes into play. Where is the Christian leader? With who? So the first thing we have to analyze is that this is Hillary Clinton. It's clear, that's why it's transparent, that it's not under Hillary Clinton. It's not here. This is eliminated immediately. To the contrary, that's a no-brainer. We know that Hillary Clinton is working for the city of the devil. She represents everything that goes against the natural, objective, moral law. She works against everything that is really important from the perspective of the Christian world. She's pro-abortion, pro-homosexuality. She's anti-religious liberty. She's anti-God, secularist, atheist. Everything that rejects God is here. So for sure we know that the Christian leader is not under Hillary Clinton. That's eliminated. Here's where we come the analysis of competing hypotheses and the Monthy Hall. Here we have the conventional wisdom, the normal average leaders of the Republican Party, the neocons, the normal average conservative, the normal, what is within the box. These are not outside the box. They are within the box. They are inside the box. They are the normal, the usual. These are basically the routine. And we can have here Jeb Bush or Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio, whatever you want to call them. They are the normal option, the regular option. And listen, there is absolutely no evidence, there is absolutely nothing supporting the hypothesis that these usual, normal, routine guys inside the box can beat Hillary Clinton. To the contrary, we already have a Bush 1, we already have a Bush 2, and we know for sure as a fact that the people don't want a Bush 3. They are tired of neocons. They are tired of the normal, conventional moderates, of globalists. They are tired of that. People reject Bush 3. We try already the normal, moderate, usual option inside the box. We tried with Mitt Romney. We tried with John McCain, the neocon hawk-in-chief. Did not work. They were crushed. So we don't have any evidence that this new, normal, average, conventional, conservative neocons will do anything to defeat Hillary Clinton. To the contrary, all the evidence, all the intelligence we have, all the information set is that they will be crushed. So we have no evidence at all to support the hypothesis that this is the answer. That my Christian leader that have to win and will win for sure, it has to happen according to Christian dogma, is under any of these ones. And now the Monthy Hall comes. If this is not, and these are not, the probabilities, the chances that my Christian leader is under the X variable, the wild factor, the out of the box alternative, the out of the box hypothesis increases in a dramatic way. And this, of course, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the variable that is out of the box, my wild card, my non-routine, my non-normal, my non-conventional option. And that's basically how my methodology worked back in 2016. If it's not Hillary Clinton, and obviously that's a no-brainer, it's not. If there is no evidence that the normal, conventional candidates are the ones that we need and we must have according to divine providence, according to our Christian dogma, then by elimination we need to understand that it has to be Donald Trump, the wild card, the out of the box option, the out of the box alternative, the non-conventional alternative. So that is the methodology I use to predict that Donald Trump was about to be the winner on the 2016 election. So basically I use my knowledge as an intelligence analyst, but also my belief in the Catholic dogma, in the Christian understanding of world history, of universal history, to predict that Donald Trump would be the winner. Thank you very much.